one-sided that she had no need to jump in. To the androids, Gohan is the only person left on Earth who can fight them since they killed all of the other warriors years ago, so for her to jump in would be overkill. Now, when you take a deeper look at 18, besides her direct state—
Hold up. There would be no reason for her to get involved. The androids are literally killing people in a point-based game. A point-based system for a game that they're playing. Oh, that's another this and that many points. Oh, no, we're tied. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? So, you see how desperate Qaaman is here trying to rescue Gohan from what we already know? By the end of this video, he intends for you to be so damn confused that you think Gohan is better than what he actually is. It's not gonna work.
We mentioned earlier about 17 struggling when she does jump in. Look at how serious her facial expression changed as
Now he using facial expressions from the non-canon special. Wow. Now you're using facial expressions. That's how desperate you are. Look at this.
Gohan started to win. This clearly indicated that this was not expected, and she then—
This clearly indicated that this was not expected. This clearly indicated that she changed her face. Oh my God, she changed her face. This clearly indicated.
Golly. Damn, he bouncing on it.
Made the decision to jump in and fight him with 17. But here is a major indication of change. When the fight starts off, Gohan is losing and 18 shows no interest in jumping in since this was expected.
To be honest, this doesn't indicate that he was getting on their ass, right? A person who's been bodying you for the last 20 years might feel that way if you even slip in a punch that grazes them. This is literally proving absolutely nothing. Okay, but he's still trying it.
As soon as Gohan starts to turn the tide of the battle, 18 jumps in and
Turn the tide of the battle.
Gohan quickly gets overwhelmed by both androids, which prompted Trunks to enter the fight and try to save him. Now let's keep in mind that the whole "I used half my power" statement is manga exclusive, as 17 only said—
What does it matter? That's what actually happened. Now you're talking about the manga exclusive. So the anime. Stop it. Okay? That's a special. It didn't actually happen in an episode of Dragon Ball, but it does reference what actually happened, which means you can instill what happened in both. There is no double line, okay? This is, while that is non-canon, it attempts to be on track with what it could. We're not going to invalidate things that happened actually for the non-canon expression of such. We're not going to do that, bro. Fact of the matter is that even in the end credits, they show scenes from the anime showing like Future Trunks went back and this, that, and the third, which would indicate that yes, Future Trunks, everything is still on track. Future Trunks is still stronger than Gohan, and he went back and Goku blocked them sword strikes with a single finger, and then they went on and completely outdid 20 years of Gohan's motivated training, right? With only 3. Piccolo and Vegeta did this like it was nothing, completely exposing Gohan's lack of body gains. Check this out.
That in the manga. However, when 18 says we will go full power to make sure you don't survive, this suggests a similar thing as it suggests that the androids weren't going at 100% in the previous fight in the amusement park, but the fact that 2 of them would go at 100% in the second fight versus Gohan significantly increases the difficulty and the power scaling for Gohan overall. This is how we know for sure that Gohan got stronger between the first and last fight that we see him have against the androids, even with the one-armed handicap. Even though he eventually died in one fight versus getting injured and losing an arm in the other fight.
I'm sorry, bro. What we do is we look at this, what wants to pay homage to what actually happened. And we look at this and we say, oh, wow. So this running this through the logic that was that we already know that is irrefutable. Like 17 wasn't using half of his strength up until a certain point. Running all of that through, what we understand is that it still would track, right? Gohan doesn't become magically stronger. He's been getting his ass beat for 20 years by these same opponents, okay? And his lack of body gains has already been exposed by that point in time. These are his very last fights and throws before he is completely extinguished and he no longer survives, okay? So he's gone, all right? Gohan's gone. at that point in time. So it's like all of that time of training and building and building and building and building and building, and this is what you worked toward, but you got nothing out of it. In the end, both of the androids survived and killed you, right? Poor Gohan. And then Future Trunks carries on the fight after you are gone, okay? And we know because the manga told us. Now let's refer to the manga. Let's stop referring to the special to try and make sense of things. Let's refer to the manga, okay? To what actually happened. Thank you. Let's refer to the fact that we know that Future Trunks was set to surpass Gohan in a month or two, and then he went back and then he fought. So we understand that even in the anime, this Gohan or this Future Trunks that's getting his head stepped on and all of that, that was done at a stronger level than what Gohan possessed. Okay, that was done at a stronger level than what Gohan possessed, and it just so happens that, yeah, Gohan, he never got to see it. You know, people make the argument that maybe Trunks didn't know how strong these guys was, but future Gohan didn't know. He has absolutely no grip, no comprehension of how strong they actually was. But Trunks did. Trunks actually lived long enough to get the answers to that. Okay, so start putting things in line and, you know, start running it through what we know actually happened and not the opposite, because that's weird.
Take this into account. Gohan performed better against the androids trying harder versus performing worse when the androids tried less. As soon as 18 jumped in the first fight, Gohan stood no chance and it was clear. In the second fight, they jumped him from the start and he held his own. Now, the manga never shows the amusement park battle, but the TV special filled in details for an implied battle. In the manga...
Oh no, there he goes. There he goes. He's doing it. He's trying to. He's literally now tried to make you forget that this is non-canon and saying they filled it in for us to just look at. Hey, bro, Gohan got bodied. Now we're just going to say it like it happened. Hey, man, Gohan got bodied. He was weak as hell. He lost his arm before 17 ever used half of his strength. The androids toyed with him and extinguished him. Whatever dub that you're using from that movie, yeah, that's not canon. Okay, that's not canon. They never used their full strength on Gohan. They just beat his ass. Okay, killed him immediately. You never saw Gohan land a blow on the androids after they got serious. In the manga, it immediately showed him laying in a puddle of his own making. Okay, future Gohan was surpassed by Future Trunks in only a month. And he went out there and actually got on the android's ass and was able to identify that, hey, this is as strong as they are. I know how strong they are. I know how strong they aren't. You can identify that by getting on their ass, beating their ass, as we've seen happen in the canon material, right? He takes all of that strength, the strength to be stronger than Gohan, the fighting, you know, to be able to fight better than Gohan, to be able to identify the limits of these androids that killed Gohan like it was nothing, that beat Gohan's ass for over 20 years. And Goku blocks it with one finger. And then in 3 years, Vegeta and Piccolo and these guys train. And they're way stronger than what your future Gohan was for an entire 20 years. So what we find out is that his body gains, no, that muscle growth, no. And whatever potency he had was maxed out a long time ago. But he never had the muscle growth. He never had the body gains. He never had what Qaaman is trying to make you believe that he had. Now, we can take a few more minutes looking at this video and looking at how he tries to use the anime and tries to confuse you up about the anime and suggesting that no. The anime attempts to refer to what actually happened. We look at what actually happened to make sense of what's in the anime, not the other way around. Thank you.
Trunks mentions how Gohan could have kept his arm if the sensu plant hadn't died out, implying that his arm was so badly damaged that it was amputated, unless you believe sensu beans can completely replace limbs. Either way, Gohan remarks on how lucky he was to make it out alive, and when he challenges 17, even 17 was shocked that Gohan...
So he even stepped in to say, how would this sound like he didn't get it blown up, but he just got destroyed? Yes! We got Gohan fans busting it. We got Gohan fans out here trying everything in the book to salvage any little points that they can. But we already know the end of the story. They had Gohan face down, ass up. Check this out.
Gohan was alive after a year had passed. But here's where we get a major manga and anime difference. The TV special shows Gohan injured and then cuts to him training with Trunks later on. There is no...
Yeah, Trunks is already a Super Saiyan, so what?
indication of how much time passed from the time Gohan got injured to when he started to train with Trunks again. This is where we can really scale the major power scaling difference. Gohan had over a year to train and stood no chance against one android in the manga. In the TV special, he recovers shortly after a brief amount of time, and with one arm he does better against two androids fighting at full power. This is a scenario where
No. You really don't actually know exactly how long, it actually was before then. But ultimately, he got toyed with, he got destroyed, right? When they looked at each other, they said, destroyed him. And I mean, they destroyed him solidly. He didn't do any damage to them at all. Remember that, even in the anime. Yes, even in the anime where they established that Trunks had surpassed him, and that everything I keep saying, they said, check this out.
you could imply that with some training combined with a theoretical Zenkai boost that Gohan would have been stronger than what he was before, but this was at a point in Dragon Ball history where Zenkai boosts weren't always taken into account or directly referenced. It was a
Oh my God, damn, he throwing it back. Look, future Gohan smokes everyone before the time chamber. What? This is not him smoking everyone before the time chamber. No, it ain't. What is he talking about? He's been talking about the non-canon special and been making 0 points.
theoretical concept that we can respect, but it wasn't always directly referenced, and this is a perfect example of it. Either way, we know for clear evidence based off of performances that Gohan was definitely stronger in the second fight than he was in the first fight. Now, I made a video short about this, but there is one extremely convincing argument that indicates exactly how strong future Gohan was, and this is the beam clash that he had against the androids. This one brief scene scales future Gohan even further beyond.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I looked at his determination. Like, he came down determined to do something, but they just kept beating his ass, bro. And the fact that he's not defeating either one, goodness gracious. Now let's skip ahead.
Piccolo fused with Kami versus Android 17. It's simple math if you take 17 and 18 and say they are relative and combine their energy together. But here's where it gets even crazier. The smaller the difference between the future androids and the present androids actually makes future Gohan even stronger when you power scale it. It sounds crazy, but hear me out. I'll say it again. The smaller the gap, the closer they are to the present androids in power. The closer they are to the present androids in power means that he overpowered a much stronger combined energy. To illustrate this, if we were to say that the future androids were 50% the strength of the present androids, that means that he displayed a level of power on the scale of Android 17 versus fused Piccolo, as we said before. But if
It was already stated that the androids of his time were no match for the androids of the current. Okay? And those androids were weak as hell. Future Trunks said they were stronger than him, but not that much. The strength these new androids had was off the charts. Well, Goku blocked your sword swings with one finger before he even started training for the androids, and future Gohan also made it clear he had never caught up to the level of strength that Goku had in his time as well. This places them weaker than Goku when he finally came back with instant transmission. At least future Gohan places him weaker, right? Future Trunks would get down there and realize that he was weaker with the sword strikes and realize he was also no match. Although he was stronger than future Gohan, he was still no match for this Goku. So there's zero comparison between even Piccolo or Vegeta that simply did the 3 years of training, because Vegeta was basically even with Android 18. Completely even with Android 18. The stronger version. Whereas future Gohan is leagues weaker than the android, stated by the manga. Throw away all that mumbo jumbo from the special. all of his trying to get you confused about things in the special, and remember the things that are irrefutable and the things that were confirmed in the manga is that, hey, future Gohan was not as strong as future Trunks, and hey, future Trunks realized he was not as strong as this version of Goku, and then hey, they trained for 3 years and were fighting stronger versions of the androids that was beating Gohan's ass after 20.
We were to say that the course when Gohan killed Cell, neither android was still absorbed by Cell since 17 died when he self-destructed, and 18 was knocked out of Cell earlier by Gohan. But in terms of video production, the TV special was actually released on February 24th of 1993, and at the time the manga was on chapter 411, which was released on February 23rd of 1993. So the manga chapter was released a day prior to this TV special airing. Now the thing that you have to understand about this is that obviously the TV special doesn't take 5 minutes to make. It was in production prior to this, and because of this, it's actually an error to think that the TV special was inspired by what happened in the manga with Gohan killing Cell with the father-son Kamehameha, or what happened in the anime, because the TV special was actually released prior to what happened even in the manga. So if anything was inspired by anything, the manga and the anime would have been inspired by the TV special and not the other way around. Now in the manga,
what's canon and what's not? What was said to be canon and what's not canon? Answer that question. It seems that to avoid answering that question, you took us around with all these extra you're making us do the SpongeBob bubble blowing technique. Okay, you got us bringing it around town and step on your right foot, don't forget it. You got us doing all of that to void out something that they already told us. Check this out.
Gohan states that he wishes he was as strong as Goku before he died. But this isn't Yardrat Goku that Gohan is referring to, as fans often confuse. This Goku is in a weird limbo state of power. This is a Goku 3...
A weird limbo state of power, as in you don't have the ability to place him outside of it, but you're gonna try. See what I'm saying? But you're gonna try. Now, earlier, he flexed that the 3 years without knowing that the android's coming, that can't be, that's gotta be we, right? Or, you're not gonna get strong if you don't know that the androids are coming. He did that for Gohan. But here, where we're talking about Goku, his version of Goku, he's going to try and suggest that that Goku is way stronger than his Yardrat counterpart. You're going to suggest that, right? Gohan was weak as hell because a Trunks that is stronger than him is still getting his sword strikes blocked by a Goku who hasn't started any motivated training of that since. And Gohan said he never caught up to him. So the manga makes it clear that future Gohan was already surpassed by future Trunks. Future Trunks goes out there and meets Yardrat version of Goku. So you already got the power calculation telling you that Gohan is not as strong as Yardrat Goku. No amount of discussion of a power limbo of, we don't know what would have happened. Well, we see what happened here when a stronger version of future Trunks approaches Goku. We saw what happened, right? So that's whatever this part would be invalidated. Let's go.
Always train, as we always assume, as Goku always trains, so he would be stronger than the Yardrat Goku that came to Earth and killed Frieza and King Cold, but he would be weaker than what he would be in the present timeline if he was fully healthy and didn't get the heart virus, because this Goku...
So him, when he made that statement about, if anything, they would have been inspired by the special, I guess at that point he felt like he no longer had to address that the manga is canon and that the special is not. So at this point now, he's just full on twerking out, he ain't working out, he twerking out the entire time of just suggesting that, hey, in the anime, hey, and he's not calling it the movie, he's calling it in the anime. That's kind of crazy.
Who would have been aware that the androids were going to show up, and he would have trained even harder, and he would have made sure that also Gohan and Piccolo were stronger. And as a result of it, this Goku is in between. He's not as strong as a fully healthy Goku in the present timeline, but he's also stronger than Goku, which would be the same Goku that had that brief sparring match with
And if Gohan is stronger than that Yardrat Goku, like you're trying to suggest, then why didn't Trunks, who the manga confirms is stronger than future Gohan, have any success against him? Why is Goku blocking these strikes with one finger? Exactly. Stop it. You see what I'm saying? This is why you could tell a guy like Qaaman is losing his mind when he can't save Gohan. But a video like this should let you know just how determined and desperate he is. This is why we come out here and do what we do.
Where he was blocking his sword. But the TV special is slightly different in Gohan referring to his dad's power. When Gohan was having dinner with Trunks and Bulma, Bulma remarks as to how much he looks like his father, especially with the outfit he was wearing. Gohan remarks that he wishes he was as strong as his dad before he died. So we have a power scaling continuity era of Gohan admitting his...
But I haven't had much luck. Regardless, why the hell are we looking at that instead of looking at the canon? This is what I'm saying. Why the hell are you even taking us there when the canon already spoke?
His father was stronger than him, even though visual evidence shows that in the TV special he was...
Visual evidence did not show you that he was stronger than Yardrat Goku. Visual evidence. There is no visual evidence of that here. What that suggests to you is that Yardrat Goku would have been doing better than this version of Gohan was. He would have been doing better than what Trunks said he was doing. Crazy. And Piccolo also confirms, by the way, pay attention, you guys. Piccolo also confirms that Vegeta, who pulled up and saved Goku, was stronger than a healthy Goku. He had been training with him. He knows the full extent of Goku's power. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's stronger than Goku, man. That's what it is. Piccolo would have had no reason to want to assume that without seeing evidence of it. So everybody is completely dominating Gohan, whereas you're going to try to prove to us that he's better than everybody before the hyperbolic time chamber. And that's what I call twerking out.
Have been far stronger than his father and any Z warrior would be for years. And you also have to remember something else too. Gohan is saying this before he fights the androids the first time in the amusement park, which clearly opens the door for him surpassing his father later on.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because Trunks goes back and he's not